We are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports. We hope that you guys are making it a good one. We know that we are as well. Huge show in store for you tonight. Jay Johnson gives his opening weekend details. He gives the opening weekend rotation. We posted it on the message board. If you're not subscribed to it, go to ayssnetwork.com. Early this morning, around 6 o'clock, we posted that we had talked to some people around the program about that rotation. So it wasn't necessarily a very big surprise over the rumors that have been happening. LSU finally confirmed it, at least, completely today of their weekend rotation, which will be Paul Skeens on Friday night. Well, not Friday night anymore, Friday at 3, which some people on Facebook are freaking out about. I really don't know. Just give them a participation trophy, Blake. There was literally 2 comments. People saying give them a participation trophy. Okay, well, good for you. But tomorrow at 3, because of weather, I don't know where you are currently at, but where I am currently at in the studio of AYS, it is absolutely coming down, pause, but it is raining really hard here tonight. So we'll monitor the weekend. LSU softball had to cancel their event, their game tonight. They'll do a doubleheader tomorrow, which I'm sure will make even more people mad because the girls can do it. The softball team can do it. Why can't you? So nevertheless, Jay Johnson spoke with the media today. He gave us a lot of updates. He didn't hold back. We will touch on that in detail. LSU Football Media Day, or SEC Media Day, is going to Nash Vegas, baby. What you think, Zach? What you think? Okay. I talked to Joe today, DeLeon, and our good people over at Believe. I think we're going to try to make ourselves over that way since my wife isn't going to be 8 months pregnant this time. So maybe we'll go to be at the SEC Media Days this year. We'll talk on that. LSU is predicted. We'll go on to Ruffino's Rants. LSU predicted 9 wins. Some early bets being placed. Some people, very small services, are doing that. But 247 Sports came out with their win and loss totals for some teams. Their over-unders. We'll discuss that here tonight. Why people think LSU's getting bad? I would love to hear the justification about that. We'll talk about that here tonight. Later on in the show, as we close out tonight, we will talk a little bit about the Saints' Alvin Kamara being indicted today. So we'll see. I mean, you got Jamar Gibbs out there, Bijan Robinson. I'm assuming, hearing some of the Saints media and Saints chatter, are they going to probably draft a running back? Running back was already in need. Very interesting situation with Alvin Kamara being indicted. Look, when you see stuff like that about being indicted, that's not a joke. They have sufficient proof when you hear the word indicted. So we'll see. I mean, look, let me just say this. I am not condoning beating up somebody, okay? I'm not condoning fighting. However, I just want to make it well known that if you touch somebody's wife, if you touch my wife, hands are going to be, and especially in a bad way, hands will be thrown. So I don't know who Alvin Kamara's attorneys are, but in pretty much all 50 states, here's a little bit of a law degree for you. So if you've never talked with an attorney before, here you go. Any unwanted touching is considered battery in pretty much all 50 states. His wife could press charges, or his girlfriend could press charges on the alleged victim as well. So, I'm going to stay out of the legal ramifications of this, but maybe, I will use the law degree and get something, and maybe we'll talk about it here tonight. As we do every Tuesday and Thursday, hashtag Ask Blake, thoughts, questions, concerns. Put it inside the AYS chat, the Rudy Crew chat, and we'll get to as many of them tonight as we can. because it's going to be a pretty explosive show. Going to be a pretty explosive show, I think. Stephen Fry, let's get to a couple comments though before we get started. Said, choo! Beezy B, the Italian stallion, Slick Rick, what's it doing tonight? Zach, what was the over-under we said? The first comment of me not wearing a hat? I mean, brother can't look good going out on Valentine's Day this weekend, trying to look good for my boo thing because she's my boo thing. Yeah. Look, Kristen, Adam, no cap. For sure. But that comment was by our good friend Stephen Fry over at Fry Construction and Dirt Services, site work and land development, oil and gas services, commercial construction, aggregate and soil hauling, waste containers, and demolition. They do it all. Go see them at 161 West Maple Street in Eunice, Louisiana. Give them a call at 337-457-5100. It's 337-457-5100. Let them know that Blake Ruffino at AYS sent you on by. Yes. I'm going to decide who this is. This is definitely Pooh. I see him typing something. Please stop. No. No. I mean, I'm trying to think of something clever to say. I know it's probably pretty bad. No. Anyway, look at Father Abear. Look at those. Look at that swing. You think Father Abear's ready for baseball season? Yeah, he is. He said, Matt Trent got under your skin and you're not combing your hair. Ha, ha, ha. What did he say? Father, what did I miss? No. He's not getting under my skin. But I forgot what he said, though. Me and Matt Trent talk so many times throughout the day, and he rips on me and I rip on him. I don't even remember what he says half the time. Doug Ray says, Blake got them ears lowered trying to show out tonight. Yep, got the ears lowered. My children, speaking of Father Abear, I forgot to tell you this, and I apologize for that. Our kids are getting baptized this weekend. In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, amen. So you boys got to, when mama gives you the stank eye, like, yes, ma'am. Do what I got to do. Blaze on YouTube says, hashtag Ask Blake, do you think we see a different rotation each week of non-conference? That's going to be the first thing that we talk about. Blaze, yeah, I really, it's not it's not even really thinking about it. I mean, we'll talk about what Jay mentioned in his press conference today. That will be the first thing that we talk about. A lot of people freaking out. A lot of people just freaking out that Riley Cooper is starting on Saturday. And then a lot of people don't know who Chase Shores is, the 6'8", 250-pound pitcher who's just been lighting it up this offseason. And so has Riley Cooper. And Jay Johnson spoke on that, so we'll touch on that here tonight as well. Alex Cormier, Zach, also the second over-under, I said, how long would it take for somebody to say, bruh, put the hat back on? You guys did not disappoint. I literally told Sack that within the first 10 minutes of the show, it's exactly what was going to happen. Here we are. Jeff 2 says, my man, you're one sexy Rico Suave beast with no cap. I didn't know you, y'all. I can't believe that y'all are freaking out this much. Father Abear says, congratulations on the baptisms. Thank you. Yep, Saturday. They will be getting baptized. Rick says, with the roster, I'm pretty sure most of us could put a lineup together, but I trust Coach Jay Johnson. Yeah, I do too. I mean, Rick, you take the words right out of my mouth there. All right, last one, then we'll get rolling. Stefan says, I would assume Johnson & Johnson are preparing Hurd for Texas. Probably. But look, I think let's just do this. We'll just get into that in just a minute because we got a lot we're going to talk about with Jay. Some position groups, some guys in the lineup starting tomorrow that I think a lot of people weren't expecting. So we'll touch on it. Guys, opening baseball starts tomorrow at 3 p.m. We're here now, baby. I have no idea what's going on with the stream, guys, but it's extremely bad weather. So if I go in and out, I apologize. Not a lot I can do about that. All right. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Share to all of those social media groups. Share to all of those social media pages. If you're listening to us on Facebook, continue to do us the favor by hitting the like and share. Share to those Facebook groups. Just do us a favor. Hit the like, hit the share. Facebook groups. No cap, whatever. Just do it for you. Do it for your boy. Also, if you're listening to us on YouTube, like, subscribe, notification bell. Thank you so much for doing so. If you're listening to us on XM Radio, the TuneIn app, or wherever you listen to podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. We are still doing the $200 giveaway. We are not putting a time limit on it. Somebody is going to get $200. I don't know why you're not taking advantage of this. I will literally get, if there is one person that can get 20, 30 people, 40 people to subscribe to the Ruffino and Joe Show or AYS, I will gift you the $200. Go get people to subscribe to Ruffino and Joe Show and AYS Sports for your chance to win there as well. If you don't do that, though, we'll just put you in the drawing if you're subscribed. If you do subscribe. But wherever you listen to podcasts too, review. All right, guys, let's get this thing rolling. Let's talk about our good friends over at GM Varno & Sons and our good friends over at BetOnline. We're going to recap college baseball, LSU baseball, LSU football. I have a date for you. It's been swinging around out there for spring football. It sounds it's going to be around March the 9th. So we're less than a month away. So March the 9th, and I did say swinging. I know I said it's swinging itself out there, and I got looks from my producers. All right, so we'll touch on that and much more. Let's get to a break. We return in 1 minute. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events, with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag. With over 65 years of experience, nobody is better equipped to service in your vehicle than GM Varno & Sons. RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, routine maintenance, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. If you break down the side of the road in the greater Baton Rouge area, they will come and get you. And the best thing about that is that they can come and get you, and then they can bring your vehicle back to their shop and start the repairs right then. Again, GM Varno & Sons. Go see them over at 2500 Fuller Boulevard. Give them a call at 225-664-9992, 225-664-9992. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino sent you on by. The producers say, I wonder if Coach Jay Johnson consulted with our resident Twitter coaches. No, they did not. No, they did not. Because Riley Cooper wouldn't. And what's crazy is they have not, majority of them haven't been out there to watch anything that's been going on this offseason. So, look, man, I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes you reward guys for dominating in the offseason, dominating in preseason. That's what you'll see and what we talk about with Riley Cooper. Chris H on YouTube says it's swinging, and we're gonna touch on that. You're making it this too easy, Blake. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Kenny Futch says ready for opening day. I am as well. We're less than 12 hours away. I mean, close to 12 hours away, right? No. What am I thinking? Like 18 hours away. Father Abear says we have guys riding the bench that could make a team and be competitive. I love the buy-in that Jay has accomplished. So let's touch on that, and let's talk about that. So today, if you missed it, Jay Johnson met with the media. He gave the opening rotation for the opening weekend, that being Paul Skeens on Friday, Riley Cooper on Saturday, and Chase Shores, the true freshman, on Sunday. Look, I don't think anybody is going to bat an eye that Paul Skeens is going to trot out there tomorrow at 3 p.m. and that he more than likely and hopefully is going to have a really good showing. I really don't think that a lot of people, even though no one's really seen him in a college setting in Chase Shores pitch in this kind of environment, nobody really batted an eye when they heard today and they saw today that Chase Shores was going to be the guy that's going to get the ball Sunday on the mound for LSU. Everybody is really just asking the question about Riley Cooper. Now, Jay really talked about that in great detail. It was a guy that he didn't really bring up a lot. It's a guy that the LSU media and really me and Matt Trent, when we talked to and interviewed Jay Johnson, is a guy that we didn't even really talk to him about. Personally, though, I know that Jay, and just talking with him, Jay has had a very close eye on Riley Cooper, right? Like in reference to, man, he came in a lot of games last year, got you out of a lot of jams. Now, when he ran out of gas, teams started hitting on him a little bit, but that was to be expected. The thing about Riley Cooper, if you saw him today, looks a little bit more trim, looks a little bit more lean, looks like he might be ready to go. But you can't teach having a left-handed arm and a guy going on Saturday. You know, and Jay quoted Augie today, the really great coach at the University of Texas, and saying this game is unique and you need to get left-handed pitchers and left-handed bats. LSU gotten both. Honestly, a lot of both. I think that this Riley Cooper thing is not going to be an end-all, be-all unless he goes out here Saturday and absolutely shoves it down Western Michigan's throat. Guys, am I lagging really bad? No. If he does go down there and shoves down Western Michigan's throat, and you're in a situation where, well, hey, man, I know Thatcher Hurd is on the cusp. He got hurt. He's coming back. How does that going to look? Maybe Riley Cooper doesn't get moved. You know, the one thing is that you just got to go out there and see. Now, do I think that Riley Cooper is going to be in the starting pitching rotation come SEC play? No, I don't. I don't think that he's going to be your Saturday starter. I think in a couple of weeks when you go up against Texas and you're on the road trip in Texas, that you're going to be in a situation where maybe you throw at Thatcher Hurd and then you see what he can do. If Thatcher Hurd goes out there against Texas, he dominates there and he does some good things, then you have your answer. The guy probably needs to be in the weekend rotation. But as far as right now, as far as being in a situation where, and we talked about this at great length last night. I talked about it myself. We talked about it with Matt Trent. Look, you can't overreact a lot of times to non-conference. The times that you overreact in the non-conference is like what we mentioned last night. Like if you're just being lazy and the team's being lazy and they're being subpar and they're not really giving a damn and they're going over to Southern, and no disrespect to Southern, but you're going over to really any I don't want to say FCS, but any lower program like a Southeastern or Southern, whoever it is, and you're losing and you're getting no hit into the eighth, that's when you start having issues. But right now, game one, weekend one, I don't think it's as big of a deal as some people on Facebook, some people on Twitter are making it out to be. Let this rotation work itself out because it will ultimately work itself out. Just like what Jay said and what he's going to do with the lineup. Paxton Kling is a guy that when he signed and when he committed and when he enrolled at LSU, you and I talked about him at great length. He's got the lettuce coming out of the cap. He's got the lettuce coming out of the helmet. Dude can absolutely mash. Looks like he's going to start in right field Friday, or I keep wanting to say tomorrow night, guys, but I've been preparing myself to say tomorrow night all day. He will be starting in right field at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Looks like Braden Jobert is going to be in a situation where he finds himself in there defensively in left field. And I will just tell you this, under Jay Johnson, and as the Oakley, if you've played baseball ever, especially if you played in high school and college, and as Matt Trent, who played 5 years of college baseball, alluded to last night, if you can hit the baseball, they will find a place to put you. If they got to put Braden Jobert at first because he keeps mashing the ball and move Trey Morgan to the outfield, they will do whatever they got to do to make sure that Jobert's bat's in the lineup. Now, is that going to happen? No, they're going to keep Trey Morgan at first. I think you get what I'm trying to get here. If you got to DH him, you get what I'm saying. But then you take the bat out of Paul Skeens' hands. You got Jared Jones. Guys, I just don't think that people are fully aware of what this team's capability will be. Zach Pooh, if I'm start lagging really bad, hit me up in the chat. I just keep seeing it going up and down. I don't think people really know how good this team's going to be, or really I think we know of the potential. I think we know that you have a lot of dudes that can come in here. Like, look, if you lose a guy, God willing, and knock on wood, God willing, somebody's got to sit in the infield. Ben Neipolt or Niepolt, whatever you want to, however wants to go by, is a really good defensive guy that can actually hit a little bit, struggled a little bit, but a guy that can hit. Gavin Dugas is also a guy that can come in, play second, has gotten better, has had some injury issues. But what's crazy is the dude hit 19 home runs in 2020, and I guess pretty much based off of what we were listening from Jay Johnson today, dude couldn't even see. Bro, this dude hit 19 home runs and couldn't even see. How in the world a guy can be here for this long, 4 years, and nobody pick up on this issue is beyond me. Now, I don't know if this is just a now issue or just happened issue, but he had eye surgery, got set back, and, all this kind of stuff. Man. But if you tally what your potential will be, look, Paxton Kling is a guy that could have easily gone into the first, second, third round. He would have been drafted. Gavin Dugas, guys, I hate to tell you this, probably going in fifth or sixth round last year, would have been drafted. You guys got so much talent that's returning. Infield's going to be solid. Can Jordan Thompson continue to build on what he's doing? You just got so much at the plate that if defensively, and which is my biggest issue and my biggest concern, if they can clean that up, guys, this team's going to be really scary. They're going to be really tough to deal with. I know Tennessee's going to be really good. And look, I will make projections before we get into SEC play. I think Zach and I did this last year, and Zach was so wrong. Zach was so bad. He went like 0-72. Not really. We actually split. You took the East in Tennessee, and I think I took the West with A&M. Nevertheless, if I'm not mistaken, didn't A&M win the West? Pretty sure A&M, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, and we'll give predictions. But look, you don't have Florida on your schedule. You do have Tennessee. Just got to get through week one. Start getting your feet under you. Weather's not going to be the greatest, but it will get better. I know a lot of people are going to want to see this team hit a lot, especially in game one. Let's hope that they can and surprise us and do some things. But, man, the first five guys that Western Michigan's going to face tomorrow, Dylan Cruz, Trey Morgan, Tommy Tanks. I don't think Paul Skeens is going to hit tomorrow, so I'll just say Jared Jones. Whoever met Jordan Thompson, whoever, Paxton Kling, it's going to be nasty, man. It's going to be a nasty scenario. So tomorrow kicks off what should be a really, really, really great season. All right, let's get to a couple comments. Dwayne Official says, I'll be back when football starts. Okay, see you later then, bud. Pierce, and we're about to talk about football, which is so awful. Pierce Lee says, a blind squirrel found 19 nuts. You know, when you put it like that, from it's kind of funny because, you know, you got to be careful because Pooh will come in here and just hit you with some random stuff like, you know, like stuff like this. Hold on. He'll hit you with something like this.
Pause.
But that's weird though.
Pause.
It gets me every time. Get the replay gets me every time.
Pause.
Oh, what's going on here? Okay. But that is interesting. I mean, the dude could barely see. And he's out there hitting 19 bombs, dude. Doug Knows says Guidry gonna get some play at pitcher this year. What I don't know if you call it like that, but yes, Jay said that they have a plan for Guidry to get back on the mound. Look, he was really good at Barb at doing that. Crazy thing is, man, the dude can mash at the plate. I think was it Zach last Tuesday or last Thursday, something like that. Like I think he went like 3 of 5 and had a home run and 2 doubles or something like that. The dude could still really hit. You could really put him anywhere, but they're going to send him up to do that. And look, if you have your infield, if you're set with the guys that you have right now, and you're good with Tanks, you're good with Thompson, you're good with Ben Neapolt, or Dugas, you're good with Morgan, you're good with what you have behind the plate. I mean, you want to get Gavin Guidry some action. He can pitch. Let him do it. And there's nothing wrong with him doing it either. Dude's good. Dude could really do whatever he wants, really. He's that talented. Like, you have a guy that played second, played short all off season, then he comes in here and Jay's like, look, man, you got beat out. It is what it is. Why don't we work you and build you up to this year? Maybe you can go out there and throw and pitch a little bit. I had no problem with that. No problem with that. And so what? He might get rocked around a little bit. I don't really care about that because he's not – look, he's gone through an entire offseason with literally going out there and trying to start at second, trying to start at short. So we'll see. Chili says, Blake, what are you hearing on Jeremiah Hughes? I have not heard much. I know Miss Nikki comes in here and she goes in Twitter Spaces. I don't really know if people do Twitter Spaces anymore. I haven't been in one in a long time. I know Pooh did one last weekend, I think. Did you do one last weekend? Yeah. I have not heard much on Jeremiah Hughes as of now. But look, a lot of these freshmen you're not going to hear a lot on. The only ones that have really, of the newcomers, and we could transition, not just yet, but just very quickly, of the newcomers that I've heard a lot about, Aaron Anderson is easily number 1. Deshaun Womack is number 2. I think Jackson Howard, just because of his athletic ability, the other defensive end, outside linebacker, whatever you want to call him, I think just how athletic he is for being 6'5", 6'4", 250, 260 pounds. And then really the only other guy, Savion Jones, is the guy that a lot of people are making waves about on the defensive side. Really and truly, I'm really interested to hear, and see, Gary Dellinger. Just some interesting thoughts and interesting things that are going on around there. Brandon Reese says, not much of a baseball person, but I'd rather hear about that compared to men's basketball at this point. Yeah, I know a lot of people, look, it's that part of the season. It's that part of the season, man, we're going to cover college baseball, and I know and we're going to cover spring football, which, guys, we're about to literally transition into here in just 45 seconds to 2 minutes, whatever it is. But I get you. But spring football is going to be, I'm pretty sure it's going to be March the 9th. I haven't gotten that confirmed, just some things that I was hearing around town today. Aaron Hornsby says, pucker up and kiss that baby goodbye. Yeah, I'm ready to hear old Lynn Rollins. I wonder if it's going to be him and old Benny McDonald. I wonder if it's going to be him and Big McDonald calling the game. I'm ready to hear that, man. I'm ready to hear that. Sheldon McBride says Neipolt at second and Milazzo at catcher to start the season. It was funny. Jay was asked. Jay was asked today. He said, I think Cobble asked him, like, hey, who's going to catch? And he goes, all of them. All of them. Look, Brady Neal, Milazzo, Jared Jones, whoever. Guys, you're not going to be able to keep Jared Jones out of the lineup. Like, you're just not. And I know we talked about this at length last night, but that kid is just unreal, dude. Like, he's an unreal guy at the plate. I'll tell a quick story. There was a kid in Georgia that got drafted, I want to say in the late second round out of high school. I think he went to the Dodgers maybe, and I could be wrong here. But no, it wasn't the Dodgers. Maybe the Rays. Was it the Rays? I don't remember. Anyway, in Georgia, kid, out of high school, got drafted. Jones went like 4 or 5 off of him with 3 bombs, and that dude got drafted in the second round. Dude can just flat out hit. Like, if you're a baseball fan, just go grab a pen. Go grab a pen when the show's over with and start writing names down. And when you start writing names down and you have a guy like, so Jordan Thompson legitimately could hit 7th or 8th, right? Like, you're in that situation. If Thompson is hitting 7th or 8th, and you go look at what Jordan Thompson did at the plate last year, guys, he hit 8 home runs, Zach? 8 home runs, and he batted 300. Guys, that's really stinking good. Really stinking good. We'll see. All right, 2 more, and then we'll transition here to some football. Father Aber says, I could argue LSU is a baseball school based on natties. Let the people get fired up now. You know what? We might need to do a poll on that. Do a Twitter or YouTube poll. Golden Boot or Tigers Avenue. Why don't y'all do that poll? Based off of questions asked on AYS tonight, is LSU a baseball school or are they a football school? I am not going to agree with the father on it being a baseball school. I can't go there. All right, 2 questions from Brandon Reese, and then we'll go to a quick break, and then we got some football we need to talk about. Brandon Reese says, #Ask Blake, which SEC football, baseball stadium have you visited? Almost all of them. Before and want to visit some or haven't. Did he say have you visited before or want to visit? I have not been to Tennessee baseball. I have not been to Arkansas baseball, the new stadium. I've not been to Florida new stadium. I want to go to every SEC team. Now, me and my wife, my goal is, Pooh, this is a good one. Multi-Cool 13. On the third one, do both. So football, baseball, and do both. Me and my wife, our goal is when we start to get ready to retire, kids are getting older, we're going to visit, baseball and football-wise, we're going to visit every single stadium in a year. So I think that'll be really fun. Brandon says also, he says, #Ask Blake, which SEC football stadium do you want to visit someday? All of them. I've been to every SEC football stadium besides, I want to say, South Carolina. Let's see. But we went to Tennessee, Auburn. I've been to Kentucky. Yeah, I'm pretty sure South Carolina is the only place I've never been. Gainesville was really fun. Gainesville, and I didn't wear like LSU gear or anything. I just kind of went. You know, I'm pretty sure like I wore like a black like 3/4 sleeve and just like walked around and nobody bothered me. And I probably should have wore some jorts to kind of fit in and some New Balances. But I didn't. And I think me wearing khakis gave it away that I was an LSU guy because I got evil stares. Maybe, you know, I don't know. All right, let's talk about our good friend Carol Foss over at State Farm. But let me tell you very quickly before we go to break about our good friends over at Wham Electric. Wham Electric, our licensed electrical contractor. Give them a call today at 985-241-8059. That's 985-241-8059. Let them know that Blake Ruffino sent you on by. And our good friend John Patton over at GMFS Mortgage. GMFS Mortgage, changing lives. If you're buying a new home, saving money on the mortgage that you have now, or even doing a cash out refi, the timing has never been better. Get in touch with him today at 225-614-1234. Let him know Blake sent you on by. Let's talk about our good friend Carol Foss at State Farm. We return in 45 seconds. Guys, you might know my good friend Carol Foss and all the great service that he provides over at State Farm. He is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates as well? Along with the great neighbor service, State Farm agent Carol Foss has surprisingly great rates for everyone inside the state of Louisiana. So call him today at 985-395-4300, 985-395-4300 for all of those surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to the State Farm underwriting requirements. Brandon says, I'm surprised you visited at the Aggie cult territory. I did. Actually, believe it or not, it's not as bad as some people believe unless you're going to like a sporting event. But my God, they are the cockiest, most arrogant son of a bitches that I've ever met in my entire life or been around in my entire life. I'm talking about way down yonder on the Chattahoochee, my girl's coochie. I'm not gonna finish that. But arrogant as all get out. Did y'all see today, by the way, on Twitter? I saw this today. By the way, everybody hit the like and share too. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share all those groups. If you're not living right if you don't hit the like and share. Did y'all see today that they're still giving out 74, 72 cups at sporting events, guys? They're still giving out, like legitimately. They gave out those cups during the LSU women's basketball game, which LSU women's basketball, I think, tips off at 8 tonight. But they gave it giving it at all sporting events. Like, I don't get it. Like, but LSU has literally won a national title. Literally has won a national title. Fired and hired coaches. Joe Burrow has been in the league now, will be going into his 4th year. Guys, Joe Burrow is going into his 4th year in the NFL, and they're still printing LSU Texas A&M cups when they won 74-72 in an outright stolen game by the SEC. That game was stolen, man. I can't be convinced otherwise. I can't be convinced otherwise that game was stolen. It was their Super Bowl. That was like their Super Bowl. What a joke. How can you live with yourself knowing that the best thing that you've done in 4 years was win a game against LSU 74-72? Like, you didn't even print the cups when you beat Bama. What? Just goes to show you what teams put LSU in the like where they put LSU in the pecking order of the SEC. It's just the truth. However, let's transition to some football before we get on out of here tonight. I'll bring the guys up here later. I think Pooh might have to run. Pooh, you got to run at 8, correct, or 7:55? So I will get you up here. Today, 247 Sports. So you guys know, and you see like right here, Bet Online. Look, I talk to people, especially people like at Bet Online or whoever it may be. Like, hey, what's your feel about LSU? Because they literally have no bias. They're money maker. Like, the way that they make money, obviously, is to be as non-biased as anybody in the country, right? Like, I'm pretty sure BetOnline is not going to run out there to lose money. That's not their goal. That's not their end game. Today, though, and talking with guys at BetOnline and seeing the 247 Sports report, I don't know if y'all saw this. Guys, they had LSU at over under 9 wins. Over under 9 wins. So the question that I had for LSU football is, I know that you had the 9-win total. Are you saying LSU is going to be worse this upcoming year than they were last year? Because LSU got to the 10th win. Now, they didn't say regular season. They didn't say this is just regular season. This doesn't have anything to do with conference championships. This doesn't have anything to do with a bowl game. None of that. None of that. They think that their win total is 9 games. Their pecking order, or what they thought, was Georgia at 13.5, Alabama at 11.5, LSU and Tennessee at 9, and so on and so forth. So basically what they were trying to say was Georgia's going to win the East, Alabama's going to win the West, and the 2 teams behind them will be LSU and Tennessee. I don't think that, I can probably see maybe where they get there with Georgia in the sense of like, man, look, they're the, reigning, defending, 2-time champion. I get that. But I need a justification of why you believe that LSU is going to be worse. Like, what are you seeing that nobody else around here is seeing that LSU is going to be worse in football this upcoming season than they were a year ago? So did they not replenish their roster? Good. Well, no, because they hit the portal. Some people believe that they got better at DB. They obviously returned so many things offensively. So what is it? Is it Brian Kelly, talking with people that they're in the betting world who do this for a living? Well, no. Well, what is it? And I start asking the question, and everybody just has this thought like, oh, well, it's Saban. And I get that. Look, I have been burned at the altar too many times betting against Nick Saban. I'm sure you have as well. But I just don't think LSU is going to be worse. Like, LSU's one loss, if they were to lose the West, could easily just be to Alabama. I just can't see LSU being worse. Their schedule is more favorable. Now, could you be in a situation where you lose to Florida State, maybe you lose to an Alabama, maybe you lose to a team that you're not supposed to? Maybe. But that's not – I know at the end of the regular season you'll be 9-3, but then you'd go to a bowl game, and could you win it? I just don't see their logic. I am going to say this for probably the first time, though. I don't know how I feel about this thing about Alabama with Tommy Rees. We've talked about this religiously on the Ruffino and Joe show. You can go and subscribe and listen to it. Why Alabama fans, why the national media, why so many people thought that Bill O'Brien was a bad OC? Did he have some situations where maybe in some situational play calling, you scratch your head and it's like, well, what happened there? But to all you LSU fans, you said the same thing about Mike Denbrock a season ago, and you won the West. Quite honestly, I would love an offensive coordinator that would bring alongside him in 2 seasons of averaging 40.5 points per game. Just being real with you. I don't know if you want your offense to score 40.5 points a game, but I do. I'm not buying this Tommy Rees thing. If Alabama's going to get back to where they want to get back to, they're going to have to run the football at a very high clip and a very effective clip. I don't think that they can do that. I don't think that they had the offensive line to do that at the current moment. I don't know if they have a running back core that can do that. Jamar Gibbs isn't walking through that door. Maybe I'm missing something. Majority of the time, and Saban's never really had to do this. I don't know of a time that he's replaced both coordinators where they've gone and been a juggernaut the next year. Now, he's had a revolving door at times at OC, but the 2 DCs that he's had at Alabama, Kirby Smart and Pete Golding, really for long tenures. Now you had Jeremy Pruitt that was in there for a little while, and I get that. But it hasn't been the revolving door in a decade and a half that you've had on the offensive side. Tommy Rees is easily the worst offensive coordinator hire that I can remember Nick Saban making, even at LSU. Jimbo did some good things. So when I look at that 247 Sports report, I know they base that off of the blue chip ratio and the recruits you have. But man, I just can't. I can't get to a situation where when I look at LSU, them getting worse. Tennessee's not on that schedule. Let me think who else is on that. Who was the other cross-rivaled opponent? Oh, Florida. The last time Bama replaced both coordinators, they went to a natty and lost. What year was that? Was it 2018? Was it 2018? Yeah, 2018. Because 2018 was Kirby's first year at Georgia, right? Because in no. It was 2017. They lost Pruitt in 18, correct? Or Pruitt left in 18. Yeah, because LSU, if you remember in 18, number 3 or number 2, Georgia came in the Death Valley, and Nick Brissett, Joe Burrow, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire clapped those ever-living cheeks. Loxley and Golding. Are you saying they were the ones that came in? Those are the ones that came in? Okay. There you go. And Loxley just hired Kevin Sumlin. God, if you're Notre Dame too, my God. Hey, newsflash. Kevin Sumlin's better than what you just hired, bud. Just letting you know. I don't care if this might be a wrong thing to say. I don't really care that Kevin Sumlin maybe likes having him a bourbon or two every now and then. He's better than what you got. Him and his bourbon whiskey. Come on. Anyway, getting into spring, we got about 10 minutes before the Lady Tigers tip off. Spring's going to be around March the 9th, March the 10th, a little bit earlier than maybe some were expecting. Guys, I got to tell you, I'm talking to people around the strength and conditioning around LSU. They might, when it's all said and done, they might give Jake Flynn a statue, man. I talked to 2 players today. Both of them said that their squat had gone up 50, 60 pounds. Their bench had gone up. Their clean had gone up. Their body, they're more lean. They're more, I'm ready for this to happen. And we've talked about this with the position groups that we're going to go to first. Obviously, I want to go look at defensive line. You got a lot of turnover there. I want to see what they have. Obviously, maybe some DB. I know that's what Wilson Alexander had talked about. I'm going to beeline it over to quarterback. I just want to see how much they've progressed. Talk to a player today. And this is what the good thing is too. I think more LSU fans put a scenario or maybe like a script on the relationship that Jane Daniels and Garrett Nussmeier have. I'm hearing both of them are going out and working with wide receivers. They're both there doing it. Look, man, sometimes you get into toxic situations. A lot of you, I would hope, work for a living, and some of you probably know are probably in some of you, as most can be at times, a toxic work environment. Imagine being in a toxic work environment and trying to do what they're doing. That just shows me that they're not in a toxic work environment, that they're really trying to achieve to go out there and win a national title and win the SEC, something that they fell short in doing last season in year 1 under Brian Kelly. I just can't. I can't imagine. As we talked about them getting worse, but the other thing that I really can't really fathom is, man, just how much this offense has changed so quickly. I mean, it doesn't feel that long ago that Jake Peets and DJ Mangus were running things, and then you got guys on the SEC network saying that, oh, well, they don't really know what they're doing. like they're being hamstrung by Orgeron. For Brian Kelly and company to come in and do the things that they're doing, and I don't really think it's going to stop. I think you have two good quarterbacks now. I hear Ricky Collins is doing some really interesting things. Hopefully he can, get that delivery a little bit shorter. Like, Ricky, just go here, baby. Just go here. Don't go, you don't shortstop that thing. Be here. Be quick with it. And I know that that's something that they're working on him. I want to see him. I want to see how he throws. I want to see what he looks like. But we'll be there in March in the start, or very early in March, which I kind of like. And they separate things out. They don't wear the body down. So I like how they're doing it. I like how they're doing it. Rick says, Coach Jake Flint is the real deal. I agree with you. Chad says, and to think everyone thought that the sky was falling when they made the switch in the strength and conditioning department. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Everybody freaked out. Oh, God, Tommy Mouth. Oh, my booty hurts. Oh, puppy. Oh, puppy. Live la vida loca. She got dumps like a truck. Bars like what? All night long. Let me see that thong. Brandon Reese says, I was impressed that most of the players managed to stay healthy for the most part. They did, man. I mean, Armani Goodwin went down. Mason, I'm not going to blame Mason Smith's injury, though, on Jake Flint. And I'm not going to really blame it on anybody. There's nothing that you could really do there. But Mason Smith, Armani Goodwin, I mean, you had some guys banged up here and there, mainly, though, off of a concussion issue, right? Like, I mean, it's not like they had long-lasting injury or anything like that. All right, Zach, get ready to come up here in just a second. We'll talk some baseball. Shane says, shit, I still remember when 3/4 of the people in sports talking heads thought BK was a bad hire. Yeah, I know. And they hated him. Say it was a bad culture fit. Brian Driscoll, where you at? Where you at? You know? All right. I'm going to bring up Zachy. Producer Zach. What you doing?
I'm chilling.
It doesn't matter what you're doing. So, Zach, you're going to be coming out tomorrow with a LSU hype baseball video. Is this correct?
We are. Yep. I'm excited about it. It'll release probably around 2:00 when we go live.
You need to do it at like around 10 a.m.
Well, we're doing the show at 2, so I wanted to open
do it at 10. Do it early so people can see it. Let the mojo flowing, bro. You can't.
We'll see.
Zach, have I ever steered you wrong before?
No.
Okay. Do what Daddy is telling you to do. I'm serious. Drop it around 10.
What about noon?
No.
Meet halfway.
No.
Maybe noon.
Well, you know what? I don't even know why I care. You know why? I'm not in it. I just sit here. I promote Tigers Avenue podcast all the live long day, more than my own goddamn show. And here comes Zach, not putting Blake in it.
If y'all haven't noticed, Blake, he's been salty with me all day because I didn't put him in the baseball hype video.
I mean, Jesus would have.
I don't know what Jesus would have done.
Hey, I know one thing. He could have hit a curveball. All right, Zach, one sentence. What you think about LSU baseball tomorrow at 3? What you thinking?
One sentence?
One sentence. It better be damn good.
I'll give you 3 words. I am excited.
Okay.
That's it.
You can go more than a sentence.
Hey, look.
Really think?
If you haven't gotten into LSU baseball, like I know we had Dwayne up in here earlier saying, I'll catch you back when it's football season. Dude, if you are not into LSU baseball this season, then something's wrong with you.
I agree.
You're not a true LSU fan if you ain't into LSU baseball this season.
I agree. I think they're going to be good. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll be live after. I thought we were going to do, be able to go after the game like at dark. won't be able to do that. But
might be catching people after work now.
well, I just don't. Well, no, shit. I mean, that game's going to end around 6. People get off work on Friday before 6.
Yeah, gonna be dinner
I don't
time.
know why people are freaking out about the time change, man. Like, I just, I mean, I get it, but then
pack it out Saturday.
Yeah, pack it out Saturday. Who gives a damn?
It's all good. It's Western Michigan. It's not Tennessee.
No, they wouldn't do that for Tennessee.
No, they would not.
All right, Zachy, we'll see you tomorrow. Y'all have a good night, little girls. Peace out, Girl Scouts.